Good evening. Hello, Red Lioness. Good to see you. The Red Lioness, where are you beaming in from? See, there's 3 people out there. Oh, the UK. Awesome. Awesome. So it seems as though you can still hear me above this music that I'm playing. Let me turn it down just a little bit so it's not so loud. I'm not going to have this going for the whole time. But hey, this is Bill, and you're watching Bill's Box of Sound. And once again, welcome to the third consecutive third in our live streams. Actually, it's possibly the 4th, but the first was just a test, so I didn't really count it. And you know what? Hold on a second. I got this. Checking something out here. Okay, well, as I stated earlier in the tease, I did watch the Belmont Stakes live from New York just about an hour ago, and despite expectations of some people, Rich Strike did not win the Belmont Stakes, but the favorite, Mo Donegal, won the race. But it was a fun race just the same. Not really that big of a sports fan, but horse races are fun to watch, aren't they? Gonna get myself some liquid here. Just soda with lemon and lime this evening. I'm cutting down on the booze a little bit lately. And let's see. Gotta get the list of things to talk about going. Let's see here. Good evening to Carlos Von Chang. And hello, Paul Ayers. Nice. Yeah, a lot of people cut soda out of their diet. Some people cut booze out of their diet. With me being a diabetic, it's a little tough to not drink diet soda because I can't drink fruit juices, and I drink a lot of water. I limit myself on the on the pop. Soda I usually only drink in the evenings. So what can I say? Kevin the Badger has been contained. Let's see. All right. Carlos, I dig your ethic. That's cool. And let's see. I knew what you meant. Sports and not sorts, and all sorts of sports you're not into. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, Paul. Looking forward to the Zappa Erie, but they had a much cheaper retail. Wish they had a much cheaper retail version without the book. Okay, I think I explained a few weeks ago that if you go to popmarket.com uh, and you just buy the regular version of the Zappa Erie box, and you use the 10% code. If you're not a current customer of Pop Market, a little thing will pop up saying, we'll email you a 10% off coupon, and you can get that. I don't want the extra poster. And I want the music. I want the 6 CDs, and I want the booklet with all of the liner notes, because there's lots of cool stuff in there from Joe Travers. So I canceled my order with Zappa.com with their store, and I reordered it with Pop Market using the 10% off coupon and free shipping it within the US. And I saved $50 off of the price of the Zappa Erie that I originally ordered, and they refunded my money with no questions asked. So, um, oh, there. Okay, I was Carlos says that there are 3 Erie tracks on YouTube now. I was waiting for when they were going to tease those, so I'm gonna be happy to check that out. Also, if you enjoy podcasts, and who doesn't enjoy a good podcast? My favorite's the Box of Sound, even though I don't make it anymore. What's wrong with that bastard? He never makes any podcasts. Just makes videos and stuff. Anyway, the Zappacast, the new Zappacast is up, and they talk about the Erie box. Lots of very interesting information about that. So yeah, check that out. The new Zappacast with, of course, Scott Parker, producer Phil Circus, and Joe Travers, the Vaultmeister. The little Vaultmeister Joe, yeah. And the Zappa band's going to be going on tour. I don't think I'm going to be able to go and visit them on tour. Let's get back to a couple more of these comments. Red Linus says, I rarely drink ales, wine, spirits, or sodas. I smoke cigars and drink this black water. Well, if you smoked cigarettes and drank black coffee, then you'd be a lot like Frank Zappa. What can I say? Oh, you are going to see the Zappa band next Saturday. Are you in New York, Carlos? I think that's where the next gig is going to be. Checking this out here. That Carlos is going to go see the Zappa band next Saturday. And I'm guessing that they are in, let's see, New Jersey. Okay, that's right. They are going to be doing a gig in New York, but they're doing a New Jersey one first. Very cool. And Chief Dancing Ostrich, hello. All the good folks are here. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, about the Zappa band. Depending on how close you follow the Zappa band, there is a streaming service called Qobuz, which is also a download service. You can buy downloads. And a bunch of the 45-minute sets of the Zappa band, when they opened for King Crimson last year, are available for download. So I downloaded the one from Cleveland, Ohio, and listened to it, and I was not impressed. Now, of course, I loved the playing. I loved the music because it's Zappa and it's these guys who play really well. But the sound quality was not up to something that you'd purchase. It was like they took it off of the soundboard and did no processing to it whatsoever. It's like the overall volume was really, really, really low, and the drums were kind of out of whack. You had to listen really closely to get anything decent off of the Zappa band downloads on Qobuz. So, with me being the audio engineer I am, I put mine into my my digital audio workstation, started doing some limiting and just a little bit of compression, and then of course normalized the whole thing, and it sounded a lot more like a commercial record. It was a lot more listenable. Um, I meant to bring that issue up with Joe Travers, since I do speak to him on email every once in a great while, but never got around to it. But he is a very busy guy, and he- Carlos says that he did see the Zappa band with the hologram. I have a feeling that the shows that they're going to do on this tour when they're headlining are going to be a lot more fun because they can stretch out. They're not constricted to that hologram click track and thing going in their ear. And they've been playing together for, well, getting close to 2 years now. And, in different capacities. I mean, Mike Keneally used to play in the Z Band with Joe Travers way back in the 90s. So they've got a very good connection there. And Scott Tunis, he was in the Z Band as well. And then just, the rest of the band, Bobby Martin, Ray White, Scott Tunis, Jamie Kime, great people. So there were a couple of things that happened this week that were announced. One is some bad news, and I'm going to bring up the thing I wanted to read about it. Let's see here. Let's search for... Nope, wrong thing. Here we go. Okay. Since the people who frequent this podcast are also people who enjoy interesting music, I don't know how many of you are into They Might Be Giants. I've been following They Might Be Giants for a very, very long time, since the first or second album. And throughout the pandemic, they've been having a lot of problems getting their shows rescheduled. I mean, they had a full tour where they play a set of the Flood album and then a set of other tunes from their catalog. And then they would, well, anyway, they had this whole tour booked in 2020 when the pandemic came. So they had to postpone the tour, and they finished their album book and they put that out. They ran some fundraising for their crew, who were pretty much out of a paycheck for the entire duration of that. And then they were going to try and reschedule the shows for 2021. Well, you all know what happened with that. They couldn't do that either. So finally, they got all the shows rebooked again for 2022, and they played one, and now we've got another tragedy on our hands. I'm going to read this. This is from John Flansburgh of They Might Be Giants, who had something very unfortunate happen to him. And I quote from this email: "Greetings from the hospital. I'm writing to you with my glasses a crumpled memory, under a thick cloud of pain medication. And in spite of that, I wanted to write all of you and explain exactly what happened to me. Last night, in a car service on the way to my apartment after the magnificent Bowery Ballroom show," so They Might Be Giants had just finished playing a show, "I was in a rather dramatic car accident. Crossing into an intersection, our car was T-boned by a vehicle going at a very fast speed. The force of the impact actually flipped our car over on its side. While the driver and I oriented ourselves to our new sideways, broken glass, and airbag-filled reality, we sensed the ominous smell of motor oil and smoke. Yay! Remarkably, Just a moment later, it seemed a dozen New York City firemen arrived and set their minds on finding a way to liberate us. To them and the fantastically efficient EMS who whisked us to a trauma center, I will be forever grateful. Now, to that, I give a non sarcastic yay. Thanks that he was rescued. But let's continue. While sitting in the CT scan machine, I was working out how much more time I would need to get to a DC for the next show in my diminished state. When I explained my plan to the doctor, he explained that I had broken 7 ribs, a majority of the ribs on my right side, and some of them in multiple places, and I wasn't going to be anywhere but in a bed for the foreseeable future. While the pain in my side has only gotten worse since, it is my heart that is really breaking over these events. The entire band and crew have been working so hard to create a new show worthy of your interest and your endurance over these miserable COVID years. Last night was a victory, such a victory, and with unplayed new songs in the works and rearrangements of older material with the horn section, it was all feeling like a new beginning. But today, I'm in the hospital. I would understand anyone thinking that we're just a band born under a bad sign and giving up hope, but I also know someday we will rock again, and for me, that day couldn't come soon enough. Until then, I will be watching reruns of Sex and the City until I am strong enough to reach the remote. Wish me luck, I'm going to need it. Signed, John Flansburgh of They Might Be Giants. Man, those poor dudes. They have 2 sold-out shows for Cleveland, and I don't have tickets for either of those shows, but I was hoping to maybe get a ticket from somebody. I've seen They Might Be Giants twice, loved them both times. Excuse me for a moment. Oh, and a quick aside from Red says on Burning Shed, the Erie package is 99 pounds plus postage, so looking at about 110 pounds, which is $135.49. There's a C. I'm thinking that that's Canadian. I would think that that's the cheapest option for me to buy it. Well, any way that you can. I mean, there are some people that prefer to buy the downloads and pay like about half the price. I haven't seen what the price of a download is, but uh, you know, get that Zappa music any way you can. Hello, Shane Rocky. Good to see you. Saw you last night in the chat room for Grown Man Record Night. That was a lot of fun. And very glad for the folks at Grown Man Record Night. Mikey Bananas and Steve Fever are an on-air team again. I love Grown Man Record Night. If you don't watch it already, check it out either on YouTube or on Twitch. And yeah, I like physical media myself. But Carlos, I drew the line on the Halloween boxes. The Halloween boxes cost like about $60 or $70 more just for a Halloween mask or a Halloween costume. So that's where I said, you know what? I'm going to buy the downloads. If you watch the videos that I made of the posthumous Zappa catalog, I went to a friend's place, and he's got all 3 of the Halloween boxes, and I did a presentation of those. So, in my quest to properly educate the public on what Zappa material is out there, that's what I did. So, I'm talking a lot, which means I'm drinking more. There was a record show today in Columbus, Ohio, which is about 2.5, sometimes 3 hours away, depending on which way you take and how the traffic is moving. But I didn't go. Why? Because the price of gas has pretty much doubled in the past couple of months. Thank you, Vladimir Putin and Russia, for causing a worldwide energy crisis. But I'm not going to get political here. Also, Speaking of burning shed, give me a second here. Red was talking about stuff on burning shed, and and I got a email from them. There was one thing that surprised me. I'm just searching for it here. Search in all stores. Here we go. Ah, there it is. Okay, there is something coming out. It's a CD only, but it's by Kevin Godley and Lowell Cream, X10cc, called Frabjous Days, The Secret World of Godley and Cream, 1967 to 1969. And all of this stuff was recorded before 10cc was actually a group. It says here, including some beautiful psychedelia / folk pieces recorded at Advision Studios with support from future 10cc colleagues Graham Gouldman and Eric Stewart. This is the first ever issue of the unreleased 1969 studio album from the duo Godley and Cream, recorded during their days when they recorded as Frabjoy and Runcible Spoon. Now, I searched YouTube and found a couple of singles that they had released under that name, and very interesting stuff. Also, the CD comes with a 28-page booklet containing a 6,000-word essay, rare photos and memorabilia, and bonus tracks. When are they anticipating this coming out? It's currently out of stock. I know that it is expected soon. Let me check the email because I thought that said something about when it was going to be released. Here we go. Let's see. Where's Frabjous Days? There we go. Oh, it says shipping now. So it's already available. And they're sold out of it. I'm going to see if I can order it on back order. Damn. Also, Devo. The tickets have gone on sale for Devotional, which is happening in September. I'll give you the date in just a moment here because there was an update email sent out by Devo Obsesso. And you know what? I'm working on that. Next time, I'm going to be able to have a screen sharing thing where I can show you graphics and stuff. I'd like to do that for next week. Let's see. There's a new silk screen print. The Devotional 2022 is happening in Cleveland, Ohio, September 16th and 17th. And this is big news. Mark Mothersbaugh and Gerald Casale are going to be there. Mark has never been to a devotional before. It's cool as hell. And I can understand Mark's hesitation to come to a lot of these things because while I'm sure he does appreciate his fans, there are people that want to smother him. And he's had a lot of bad things happen to him over the years, including narrowly escaping death from COVID during the pandemic. So that is going to be at, of course, the Beachland Ballroom, September 18th and 19th. I got to buy my tickets before all of the little bonus things. For the first 100 ticket buyers, they've got limited edition 7-inch, and you can also buy a special new devotional t-shirt that's designed by Mark Mothersbaugh. So very excited about that for Devotional. Let's see. I'm just things that I just scribbled out. Did you hear that the guys in Spinal Tap are getting together again? They're going to make a Spinal Tap 2. Yes, Carlos, a Devo convention. It's been happening for about 20 years in Cleveland, Ohio. And Mike Pilmer comes out from North Carolina. and it's just a big party. They got a lot of Devo merchandise. They got Devo speakers. They've got Devo cover bands. It's a lot of fun. Almost went last year, but last year was a very difficult year for me. So I'm not going to say anything else about that. Um, okay, yeah, I heard that the guys that did Spinal Tap are making a second Spinal Tap movie, like Spinal Tap in the new millennium and stuff like that. And Rob Reiner's behind it as well. And I'm thinking, guys, can you beat this horse to death anymore? I mean, I thought that the original Spinal Tap movie was absolute genius, but then they started coming out with all the DVDs and stuff, and then they started making extra albums and things like that. And um, you listen to the commentary and things, and they're just rehashing old jokes, and they're just diluting this more and more and more. Now, you got to give props to Michael McKean and Christopher Guest and who's the other guy? Uh, okay. Um, yes, it is a great flick. I love the Spinal Tap movie, and I finally got to show it to my wife. She thought it was funny, although she didn't get a lot of the jokes in it. Zeb, how you doing? Good to see you. I didn't notice your messages before because I was too busy yakking. Um, but you know, it'll be interesting to see Spinal Tap 2. Of course, I'll probably watch it, but I'm not expecting a lot. Um, One thing I did watch a couple nights ago was I watched on Netflix David Letterman's program, My Next Guest Needs No Introduction. He did a thing with Billie Eilish and Phineas, which was very entertaining. And showed a lot of good conversation between Dave and Billy and Phineas, and they play around with him in the studio a bit, and um, it's it's highly recommended. Also highly recommended are, let's see, uh, stand-up comedy specials from Eliza. Forgot her name already. She's got. Hold on a second here. Eliza Slushinger. I had never heard of her before this week. And then I saw a thing where she's going to be recording her next Netflix comedy special in Cleveland. And I'd never heard of her before. So the missus and I went to Netflix and checked out two of her specials. Very, very funny. Very, very funny. Harry Shearer, that's right. Thank you, Carlos. I'm getting old. Taking more pills than I care to take. And still, the memory keeps on failing me. Of all the things I've lost, it's my mind that I miss the most. No. Eliza is not a musician. She's a comedian. So, if you like jokes and jokes and jokes, she's pretty cool. And what else can I say about that? So that's about all of the things that I put down. You've probably heard about the Foo Fighters tribute concert to Taylor Hawkins that has been announced, and I'm wondering who the special guests will be. I did hear something before this was formally announced that Chad Smith was of Red Hot Chili Peppers was going to be the drummer, the primary drummer for the Foo Fighters stuff, and that'll be cool. Um, and of course, very sorry to hear the loss of Taylor Hawkins. Very sad to hear that drugs did him in. However, as far as Foo Fighters, I've been a fan since the Foo Fighters came out in '95, and it was just basically Dave Grohl, and enjoyed the majority of their records. But the last couple of records, um, let me go into what I think are the not good latter day Foo Fighter records. Excuse me. Now I got him here. Let's pull these out. Okay. Now, the last good, well, no, let's say the last great Foo Fighters album was Wasting Light. Okay. And this came out when? This came out in 2011, 11 years ago. This is one fucking great album. This is an interesting comment. Group is like a rock and roll ambassador now. Yeah, kind of, sort of. I mean, I'd love to meet Dave Grohl. I'll bet you he is one hell of a nice person. But not really. I think his creative well has gotten pretty thin, run dry. But he can still rock with the best of them. So after that, they did that back and forth documentary special, which was great. It was a movie, a documentary about the history of Foo Fighters. And then that got a lot of critical acclaim. So what did they do? They went out and they did this album called Sonic Highways, where they did every song in a different studio in a different place. And they did a whole TV series about it. I don't remember whether it was on HBO or Cinemax or Netflix or whatever. And I think there's one or two songs that I really like a lot on that, but the rest just didn't hit me. Then they put out this Saint Cecilia EP. Now this is pretty good. This surprised me. It's just 5 songs, and none of them became really popular. But this is not a bad record at all. I recommend it if you can find it. Next, they put out this album, Concrete and Gold. And in my opinion, this one was a snoozer. I mean, so what if it was produced by, what's his name? He worked with Justin Bieber or whatever, and a bunch of other people. And let's see. Greg Kirsten, that's it. Greg Kirsten was the producer on this record, and Paul McCartney played drums on one song, Big Whoop. But I'm looking at the songs on here, and the only one that I can remember anything about was the song, last song on the side one, "The Sky is a Neighborhood," and the only thing that really triggers a memory of that song for me is that when he sings it, it sounds like he's singing "This Guy is a Neighborhood" instead of "The Sky is a Neighborhood." Kind of like, what was that one song by Kate Bush, "The Big Sky"? Sounded like she was saying this big guy. And here you have Medicine at Midnight. I'm a sucker. I'll buy the records because I love the group so much. And this album, I'm sorry, just didn't hit me. I mean, I tried to conceptualize this as being a pop album, and yes, this is the alternate artwork for the album that was available at Target only. And then there's this song, first song on side one, "No Son of Mine." I thought, wait, is this a cover of the Genesis tune? No, it's not. It's a completely different song. Okay, so then they did this EP for Record Store Day called Hail Satin, which they're doing covers of Bee Gees songs. And the flip side has live versions of the songs from Medicine at Midnight. And it's all in beautiful rainbow foil. Isn't that beautiful? And Very clever. So, while I'm very sad at the death of Taylor Hawkins and wish the band well, even though they're probably already financially set for life, they're going to keep on playing music forever, because when you're a musician, it's what you do. You just do this stuff. I mean, people are saying, "Oh, why don't the Rolling Stones retire? Why doesn't Paul McCartney stop playing?" Because this is what they do. They love it too much, and it's like if you stop doing it. I mean, I still play music. I play guitar. I'm still trying to teach myself keyboard, and my main instrument is the drums. And I'm trying to take my music and put it out in some way, maybe on vinyl someday. Working on it. But when you're a musician and you really are a musician, it's a lifelong thing. You just can't stop. And yeah, even when your leg is broken, Carlos, I remember that. Now that was a very cool thing that Dave Grohl did. He injured himself, fell off the stage, seriously broke a leg, and then he had a special chair constructed so that he could play the rest of the tour. That was absolutely mega cool. And groupies help. Well, Frank Zappa said that, if you have a great show, it's wonderful, but he liked it when the other guys in the group got laid because it made them feel better. And of course, Frank was famous for also partaking in the pleasures of the road as well. So, that's that. And I received a record from a listener. Oh, excuse me. One of our faithful listeners, Michael Christensen, he put out a record. He puts out a number of different things, and that's how his name is spelled if you want to check it out. And search for that on Bandcamp and listen to some of his stuff. It's creative stuff. It's pretty much all instrumental. He plays a lot of guitar, a lot of keyboards, and he programs drums, and quite well. They almost sound real. And he put out this record. I believe that there are still copies left, but he does make a lot of his stuff available digitally. This is the only one that's available on vinyl so far. He emailed me and said that he was going to try and catch the show, but he had a previous engagement. Maybe sometime I'll have him as a guest on the show, and I'll talk to him more about this. He's from Michigan, so not too far from where I am. And for those of you who like colored wax, the record is on, check this out, a beautiful yellow and green vinyl. And here's the other side. Mostly green, mostly yellow. Very nice stuff. Name of the album is Galactic Clarity. Once again, all instrumental, kind of not necessarily atmospheric, but very mellow stuff. If you're familiar with some of Derek Higgins' stuff, he kind of like treads in the same sort of areas. And I would also like to show you some other records I've been listening to and picking up. Let's see. As you know, I'm a big Residents fan. I'm looking forward to next Saturday, Record Store Day, that Residents Unincorporated 2-record set. Man, I want it. I want it. But this is something that came out last year for Record Store Day that I never saw, and then somebody hipped me to it, and I went and bought it. This is called Leftovers Again? Question mark. And lots of weird stuff. This is available to listen to on YouTube. Very cool stuff. If you're deeply into the Residents and a lot of their earlier stuff, remixes, different takes of things, and this is lusciously weird. Also been getting back into going back to my old Passport records. Good old Klaus Doldinger, boys and girls. Let's see. Where's the other one I was listening to? I think I was also listening to Infinity Machine. That's a good one as well. And okay, I'm going to field a question here. Says here, maybe you've discussed this in previous chats. What are your thoughts on Super Audio CDs? I know it's nearly obsolete and replaced by other digital formats like MQA, yet the few I have sound amazing, amazing. Well, I've been a fan of Super Audio CDs since they first came out. And hold on a second, I may have something interesting to show you. And I know that Mobile Fidelity is still putting out Super Audio CDs. I bought the Super Audio CD for Pink Floyd's Wish You Were Here when it was remixed for 5.1. I was a big fan of the quad records back then. As a matter of fact, I was doing an email exchange with Michael Christensen, and he's asking me about Santana. And hold on a second, I'll grab these. Got this, and I got this. Quadraphonic Santana albums, Abraxas and Santana 3. I collect these, mostly the SQ records. I don't listen to them on a surround sound system. I enjoy the different decisions that they made in mixing. So we've got alternate mixes of deep album tracks, which are very cool. And yes, you do need a special player for Super Audio CDs. However, to save money, a lot of Blu-ray players, especially the Sony ones, do play Super Audio CDs. Just check the box when you go to the store or when you're ordering it online. That'll save you a lot of money. And I enjoy 5.1 Blu-rays as well. But yes, the Blu-ray player will definitely play them. But getting back to Stanlow Cricket's 888's thing here, the MQA, I'm pretty sure that is a streaming only format. I've never experienced MQA myself. Yep, in the settings. But, oh, okay. Some more comments. Used to have some quad and no quad players. Such a shame. Mine are Santana Lotus. Ooh, nice. From Japan. And Mike Oldfield boxed. Oh, yeah. Present and accounted for. I've got that one. Mike Oldfield boxed. Plus another one or two, but would need to see what. Yeah. The surround sound music audience is limited. It's not a mass market thing. I've got there's two Beck albums that were mixed in surround sound. Sea Change, the Super Audio CD for that, fantastic sounding album, fantastic surround mix for that in 5.1, and also the album Gero, which came out after Sea Change. That came out in a special DVD audio mix. It was like a small hardback book that had the regular CD as well as the surround sound mix on it. Okay, And this surround sound discussion is getting you folks moving. Let's see. Someone came out with a quad album about 3 years ago and supplied a quad circuit for a modern system. I wonder if compatible with my quads. Very interesting. I'd like to find out what that is. By the way, if you do have questions that you think of that are not happening during the show, you might want to just send your question to me at boxofsound@mail.com. Not gmail.com, just mail.com. And that will allow me to research and answer your question on the air on the next show, which will be in 2 weeks. And let's see, what's 2 weeks from now? Let's see, that would be the 25th of June. Definitely want to check that out. And hey, I appreciate every single one of you folks tuning in for this. I'm very flattered that anybody enjoys this streaming program, because people have asked me to do this for quite a while, and I enjoy it. I specifically enjoy doing my regular videos. This week, here it is. Here's the other Passport album I was talking about. I love this one. Infinity Machine. Good German fusion. Anyway, most of you have probably caught my video about the 2 Steely Dan albums that recently came out on Analog Productions. Everything Must Go and Two Against Nature. Their last 2 albums. Man, they sound great. And you can buy them now. So if you're a Steely Dan fan and you missed out on the Record Store Day issues from last year, jump on this before they go out of print. Now, apparently they're in print now. They're going to stay in print, but as soon as they sell out of the pressing, it's going to be a while before any more of them come out. And still haven't heard anything about if any previous Steely Dan albums are going to come out, because, man, there are those people who can't stand Steely Dan. And I've got a couple of quad Steely Dan records as well. But if you like Steely Dan, you love them. Let's see. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm definitely going to check that out, because Techmoan is a YouTube channel I really do enjoy. And Techmoan is a type 1 diabetic like myself. So there. Today's t-shirt is my Blue Note t-shirt with the catalog number of, right here, catalog number of this album. I don't know if you can see that or not. Let's see. What album is that? Why, it's Hank Mobley. And, probably his most popular album. Hold on. Oh, come on, Bill. There it is. Soul Station. There we go. Well, that's very cool. Actually, speaking of Hank Mobley, there's a few Hank Mobley albums that have come back in print from Analog Productions as well. Oh man, that's really glare. And you know what? Even if I take this out of the plastic, with this being a super glossy record cover, it's still going to be difficult to see it all. Still very, but the lovely pictures in the middle. This is the Music Matters pressing of it, which I believe is now available as a Blue Note Classic pressing. other things that are happening. Up in that corner, hopefully by this time next week, or by the next time I do a streaming show, I may have a new shelf way up on top because I keep on getting more records. I'm running out of room. So, you don't get rid of records, you get rid of other things. I'm going to do a big purge of DVDs so I have more room for my stuff. This is hilarious. I once saw a cover band in San Diego called Steely Damned. Really good, had horns and all. Very nice. But I I'm working on getting some more shelves so I can alleviate some of the tightness in here. Because like I go in there and it's like I'm in a bad record store. I'm trying to get the records out and pulling up like that. So that's nothing. And also put out a video this week answering the 10 questions from Richard McCook about 10 questions for video makers, and enjoyed the feedback from that as well. But I got all sorts of videos I'm going to make and things like that. All right, we got 9 minutes left till the top of the hour. Are there any other questions or suggestions or things you want to talk about that you want to put into the chat room? This is hilarious. The number of people watching keeps on fluctuating between 9 and 10. It's like either we're going through a lot of different people, or one person just keeps on getting disinterested and then interested again. Let's see. What other records can I show you that I've listened to recently? Bow. I showed you that last time. Showed you that last time. Showed you that last time. I watched the Sparks documentary again. Loved that movie. And you've probably seen it in my video. Come on, Bill. Fingers. Use your fingers. The Sparks Brothers. First film I saw in the theater after the pandemic. And if you're looking for a good documentary, if you haven't seen it already, I have a recommendation for you. Let's see here. Standing in the Shadows of Motown. This is awesome. It's probably available on some streaming services right now, but I got a copy of this, and this is hilarious from a historical standpoint. The Tammy Show. If you get a chance to watch this, watch James Brown's performance, and then watch the Rolling Stones afterwards, because Jagger is trying his damnedest to dance like James Brown. And he's making a fool of himself. Okay, what we got here? Ba-ba-ba. Suzanne Gianni. I think I saw that video. I think I might have seen that video, but I may have to watch it again. I am a fan of her stuff. I've got one of her CDs. And I think that there was also an article about her in a hi-fi magazine recently. Let's see. Do you have your collection fully inventoried and sent to your homeowner's policy insurance company? Not yet. I'm working on it. The way that I catalog my record collection is that as I listened to things, and I've got a list of the majority of my records. But I'm also putting them in on Discogs as well. Like say this, I'll put this in a Excel file, which has, of course, album name, artist, title, label, catalog number, approximate value, And then I've got a little column for whether I put it in Discogs or not, because I got almost 1,400 albums in there now. And then if there's any other differences that make that specific pressing or copy unique. Um, that's what I do. But yeah, I'm trying to get my entire record collection documented in two places: on my own Excel file and also on Discogs. So if anything ever happened, I would be able to present it to the homeowner's policy. I've never heard any stories. That would be interesting to see if there's anybody who has had a catastrophic loss of their albums, either through flood or fire or theft, and if they actually were able to approach their insurance company. Now, Steve Carlson from Michigan, he has a great vinyl community channel. Steve Carlson in Michigan, there was a massive flood, and he lost almost his entire record collection, and it was not fully insured, and he started up his record collection again from nothing. There was a big GoFundMe campaign to help him out because everything in his basement was destroyed, and they had to completely rebuild down there. And he got a lot of records, free records. He got a lot of records sent to him by people, and he is still reconstructing his record collection and documenting it every week. As a matter of fact, very early, every Sunday morning, he does a record collecting video highlighting this new stuff that he's bought. During the week, he usually does something where he's traveling, he's visited a record store. The name of the Vinyl Community channel on YouTube is Steve Carlson. Check it out. It's great stuff. Uh-oh, what's going on here? I'm at a family get-together, so I cannot participate as much as I'd like to, but I'm really looking forward to watching these discussions later. Thanks for all the great content, Bill, and thank you, Paul, for tuning in. Oh my gosh. Red Lion has had over 5,000 albums stolen. That was just my vinyl back in 1997 and uninsured. Oh man, that's a bummer. Okay. And looks like okay, we're going all over the place. Oh, this is neat. Saw a doc on Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and he once lost a big record collection in a house fire one time. Oh, he's a big jazz record collector. Very big jazz record collector. And let's see. Paul said, I loved They Might Be Giants and seen them live twice. Very nice. And, yeah, Lowell and Kev. Who'd have thunk it? All right. Well, guess what? Ye old clock on the wall is telling us that things are kind of like time is running out on us. So what am I going to say? I'm going to say goodbye for good night for now, or whatever. Once again, if you got questions or inquiries or anything like that, the email is boxofsound@mail.com, and I'll be happy to get back to you or answer you excuse me, on the next show. I'm probably going to carry on with more information about music documentaries. And if you want to come up with your own recommendations for music documentaries that maybe I have not seen, I didn't get to this one, but here's an interesting one. Godfathers and Sons. I saw part of this on PBS one time. But that's it. It is just about straight at 9 o'clock. Thank you to everyone. Paul, Carlos, Kevin, Zeb, Red, Stanlow Crickets. You hear the genesis of that screen name. Lewis, thank you to Michael Christensen for sending me the record. We'll talk more about that later on. Everybody, hope you have a great time, because I know I did. I had a great time talking to all of you tonight. Be well. Yeah, it's straight at 9 o'clock. All right, stop me, or I'll get my guitar out and go. Good night, boys and girls. I'm out of here.